Time to get weird with it. What's up, dogs? It's Cameron with Venus Theory, and today we're here for kind of a weird trick that crawled back into my brain the other day. So I was working on this new track, and the bass sound just really wasn't doing it for me, and I couldn't decide what it needed. So I pulled up Izotope Trash 2, and this wasn't to distort the bass, but actually to utilize the convolution section, and it's a really fun way, and not only on basses, like tons of other sounds too, so definitely try this out. But it's a really cool way to get some weird characteristics to your basses that you really couldn't do otherwise. So let's dive into Cubase now and take a look.
An empty DAW, a new day, and some saw waves. So let's go ahead and talk about this kind of cool thing that I remembered that I figured I'd show you guys. So we've got Serum, we've got Mono, we've got Always, we've got 300 milliseconds. So let's drop this down an octave. Neat. Sounds kind of boring. Let's give it a sub. Awesome. All right. So, Trash 2. Let's talk about this whole thing. So, with Trash, you've got distortion, you've got all that. Convolve is something I don't see a lot of people use, and I honestly forgot about. So convolve is just a convolution reverb that uses impulse responses. So impulse responses, you can download so many of these and you can use pretty much anything as an impulse response, but really the presets in Trash allow you to do quite a bit. So let's go ahead and play that same G1 here. Cool, not too interesting. Let's drive it through an amplifier. Wow, that's got some nice stuff. What about a condenser mic there? What about a ribbon mic? Neat. So dynamic sounds cool. What if we separate it? Cool. Let's make it wider. That sounded neat. And then we could just do a half-half mix. Cool. So now, what's really fun, let's go ahead and just do some filtering. So we can MIDI learn that. Let's go ahead and just do some filter sweeping. So that's really all there is to this trick, and it's really fun, and I thought I would share that with you guys because this is a really cool way, especially if you're tired of like resampling, to get a lot of weird sounds you couldn't do otherwise, because this isn't necessarily something, I mean, you could synthesize this, I'm sure, if you were way more skilled than I am. But, this is really fun because with that detune I just put on there and this same amp impulse response, we've got this now. And then, definitely experiment with all of them, like the loose snare one here. And all these different impulse responses do a lot of different things. And you can hear that that's pretty interesting, and, especially if you're making neuro basses or whatever, this is a cool way to get some crazy sounds out of it, and, I mean, just experiment with, like, everything you can. So, I mean, if you're familiar with, like, guitar amp modelers, this is basically how those work. The cabinets is an impulse response, and you can just load up different cabinets, and the same principle applies to anything. So these devices are just impulse responses, and you could get whatever sound you want loaded as an impulse and just get some wicked basses. And then, through further processing and stuff, you can make something just absolutely ridiculous. So as a quick example here, Retrolog, I've just made a detuned Reese thing with some square waves that are just, the pulse width is a little different. Bandpass filter, a little bit of distortion. So before everything else, this patch sounds like this here. Really not that interesting, but after some extra processing, and then, I mean, definitely experiment with this on other stuff. I've had a lot of fun in the past couple days since I remembered this trick, just loading up the convolve section here of trash on just random sounds, and you can get some crazy stuff, and it's really fun to do, just to like grab a sound, do that, and then stretch it out with like Cecilia or something. But then, you know, within trash, throwing on some crazy distortions and stuff like that, you can just get some wicked sounds. So that's really it. And, you know, just kind of a quick tip I thought I'd share with you guys.
And that is it for this video, guys. So I hope you liked this, and I hope you learned something. As always, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys again soon.